Hi, children. Today we are looking at one of the most important paper that every student needs to do. Okay, in order for you to do well, you need to make sure that you are exposed to local school exam papers. You need to make sure that you are used to the format. You need to make sure that you are used to the structure. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get right into CHIJ. Now, I will only be going through some of the toughest questions with my students. Okay, so once again, the game of spotting the fruit is on. Is that okay? All right. Well, what question am I going to start with first? I would definitely want to start with an angles question. Okay, even though angles sometimes can be quite easy, right? But what we will do is, we want to make sure that we understand them wholeheartedly. Okay. All right. Now, so when I look at a question like that, or maybe an angles question, the first thing I want to ask myself is what are the concepts? Right? We definitely must remember zebra cannot fly. Agree or disagree? First thing first, they did tell us, right, that BC is parallel to AE. When they tell us BC is parallel to AE, what we can do is to ensure that we highlight them, and then we must remember that it is the right jacket that we have to draw. Can you all see that or not? This is my right hand side. Agree or disagree? This is the right jacket, And we also have something we call the left jacket. So this is the other one. Make sense or don't make sense? Okay. More importantly is understand that this is a rectangle. If it is a rectangle, what am I going to do first? I'm going to go into the shape and make sure that I show that these are all 90. Which means to say I can find this easily, right? This is just simply 90 minus 61. You all agree or disagree? Okay, so when you do that, you get to 29 degrees. So that is the part that's 29 degrees. Do you understand? Okay, of course, once I'm done with this, I then move on to the next one. The question wants us to find FAE. Where's FAE? FAE is this one over here. This is the question mark that we have. Am I making sense? Okay, they also very kindly told us that this entire thing is a right angle. Okay, so if I want to find that, very simple. You know why not? Because I can actually start by finding this. Right, what is this? This is basically 180 degrees. Okay, because y is a C angle, right? Minus away 125 degrees. 180 minus away 125, we get to an answer of 55 degrees. Okay, if we know this, then we can definitely find which one. What else can we find? We can definitely find this one over here. True. Why is it that we can find this one? Because we can see that that angle over there, as you can see over there, it is in a triangle. Agree or disagree? So that's the reason why when you want to find that angle, all you need to do is to do 180 degrees minus away 55 degrees minus away 90 degree. If you're wondering why is there 90, there's a 90 over here. Minus away what? 29 degree. 29 degree. Okay, so when you do this 180 minus 55 minus 90 minus 29, we get to an answer of 6 degree. Okay, and that's how you would do a question like this. Now, then we move on to the next question, okay? So as you can see over here, question number 5, this is what we call an average question, okay? An average concept. If you're wondering what are the concepts in average, let me just tell you, it is basically what we say BAG, bang. Okay, like for example, you put some apples in the bag. You get what I'm trying to say? All right, so that is the concept that we are talking about. All right, so what we're gonna do is, of course, we have to first, but do it by writing down the concept. Okay, what are the concepts that we have over here? BAG, like apples in the bag. We make sure that we have over here. We call it what? We call it BDSD. All right. After that, next one is algebra. Okay, of course. Then the next one is what we call greatest and least. Okay, that's all. These are the only three things that they can test you. Okay, now, so let's start with this first. At first, the average score that a group of men. Okay, do we know how many people are there? We have no idea at all. Completely no idea. All right, we don't know how many group of men. We don't know. We don't know. Is it 5 men, 10 men, 20 men? We have no idea. Right? Because we have no idea how many men are there. What we'll do is we'll just quickly say that the group of men, let it be X. So this is more of an algebra concept in my average topic. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Okay, so what I will do first is I know that there are X men, right? So in this situation, my N, usually what I love to do is I like to write down something called A and T. A and T stands for average, number, and total. So what's my average? My average in this situation is 70. What's my number? X. What's my total? 70. 70. How do you find your total? It's always average times number. So it's 70x. Okay, so that's the first part. Okay, so that is the first part. That is the first part. Okay. Of course, once you are done with this, then what you're going to do is you're going to move on to the second half. Right? The second half says that, hey, one more man decided to join. So what happens is that because this man came, what happens is that he brought the average down to 66. So we'll say average, okay? Or rather, I prefer to say the new average. The new average is going to be 66. What's my number of students? One more man join what? So x plus 1, very good. What's the total? How do I find the new total? It's going to be 66 bracket x plus 1. What do I mean by bracket? Bracket basically means you are essentially multiplying. You understand what I'm trying to say? Which means to say this gets me to 66x plus 66. Okay? Now, from here, right, I want to ask you a very simple question, okay? What do you think is the difference in the total? Why is there a difference in my total and my new total? You know, all of these, right? Let's call it the new number, new total. What do you think is the difference? Who caused the old total to become the new total? Very good. It is that one man that joined. You agree or disagree? Right? It is that one man that joined, right? That one man joined and then the new total just get what? Increase or decrease? We don't know. Agree or disagree? But one thing for sure I know is that because there is a new score of how much? 50. True? Right? So now my question to you is how can I form an equation? How can I form an equation over here? What's the equation that I can form? I know that in terms of my total, I'm going to compare this to this, right? I realize that one of it has to be what? More or less? We don't know, right? But I know that what caused these to jump to here is because of that 50. Agree or disagree? Now, my question to you is, of course, the new total will be more, right? Because now I added another person, another score. You agree or disagree? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something called good to the pool. Good to the pool basically means give to the poor. Who in this situation is lesser?
70x plus
Very good.
50.
70x plus 50. Okay, 70x plus 50 equals to 66x plus 66. Then the next step that you're going to take is what we call same family sit together. Same family sit together becomes 70x minus away 66x is equals to 66 minus away 50. What do I mean by that? You're going to bring the 50 over to this side. All right, for the 66x, you're going to bring it over to this side. From here itself, you can see that 4x is equals to what? 66 minus away 50, we know that we will get to an answer of 16. X is equals to 4. Make sense? So x is equals to 4 means what? The number of people, or in this situation, the group of men at the very beginning is 4. Does it make sense to you? Right? So from here itself, you can say that this is 4. But the question is not asking us for the number of men at first. The question is asking us for how many men were there altogether in the end. That means I need to fix my eyes on this. That means to say this basically is how much? X plus 1, which then will get me to 4 plus 1, which then will get me to an answer of 5. So how many men were there all together in the end? The answer has to be 5. Now, question number 6. When it comes to a patterns question, we will now then give the concept MESSSS. Okay, MESSSS. We want to make sure that we write down all of the concepts first. Okay, then from here itself, we can actually do this, which is to identify when it comes to the number of squares, what is the jump that we are looking at? Okay, the intervals that you see, right, from here to here is plus 2, right? Then from here to here is also plus 2, so on and so forth, right? You can also say this can be equal intervals, but this can also be what I call multiples. For the number of triangle, yeah, you can see equal intervals, but it's very obvious one. You know why? Because the number of triangles is equals to the figure number. The number of triangles is equals to the figure number. The number of triangles equals to the figure number. So to fill up this table, right, super easy. We just know that this is 4. True? Then more importantly, when you go to these numbers, you realize that it is what we call an equal interval. Why? Because from 9 to 17, right, we plus 8. Then over here, we also plus 8. Isn't that true? All right, so then you know that this is what we call equal intervals. Okay, so they are essentially telling us everything is equal intervals. Okay? So you don't really have to worry because very easily you can get it. All right. I prefer for the number of squares, right? You go for multiples, meaning to say the figure number times 2, you get to the number of square. This one times 2, you get to this. Times 2, you get to this. So this one times 2, you get to 8. So then after the other one, you just have to plus 8. Very simple. Okay, the difficulty is when you have to go and find like figure number 3,486. Then it's going to be very difficult. All right? Okay? All right? Yes, very good. So you are absolutely correct to say the EN thing. I'm going to, VN thing. I'm going to just talk about that in a bit. The question asks for the total number of squares and triangles in a figure that has 105 lines drawn. So we don't know what, but they are telling us, hey, if I see 105 lines drawn, what figure is it? You understand what I'm trying to say? Okay? So that means we need to work backwards. Am I making sense? So what we have to do, we have to use the formula. The formula goes something like this. Vn equals to v1 plus bracket n minus 1 times d dom dom dom. Okay, you can go and watch our a conceptual video. I will not really talk too much about this for now. All right, in our conceptual video topic, concepts video, you can go and see what do I mean? What do we mean when we say this? Now, first thing first, 105, we'll put it over here. 105 is equals to V1, basically the value of the figure number 1. In this situation is 9. N is what? N is something that I don't know. That's what they want us to find. My difference in this situation is 8. Okay? Then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to go 105 is equals to 9 plus what you're going to do is you're going to do rainbow method. You're going to spew this in. You get 8n minus 8. Okay? Then what you're going to do next is 105 is equals to, so maybe I'll just have a right in yellow color like a banana. All right, 9 minus 8 in this situation is 1 plus 8n, as you can see over here. Okay, that's basically what you'll get. Then same family sit together over here, right? Same family sit together. You're just going to bring the 1 over, so you get to 104 is equals to 8n. True? So therefore, my n is equals to 104 divided by 8. All right, when I do 104 divided by 8, we get to n as how much? N is equals to 13. You understand? This means that it is what? Pattern number 13. Now, I'm not done because the question is not asking us for which figure. Though, knowing the figure really helps a lot, right? The question asks us for the total number of squares and triangle. So I'm going to come back to this and I realized that, hey, in order for me to do that, right, the number of square I just have to times 2. That means I get 26 square. Hey, you all realize or not? The number of triangle, right, is going to be matchy to the figure number 13. So over here, maybe I'll just write figure 13 first. It's matchy. That means to say this must be 13. So that's the reason why your answer for this question has to be 26 plus 13, which then will get me to an answer of 39. So this is what we call equal intervals.
Finding value in what you're watching. Visit TIA Plus for more conceptual videos, step-by-step walkthroughs of top local school exam papers. Link in description. See you there.